was wrong. So being an arranger is a whole lot of different things. It's in its simplest form, it's to do with creating a piece of music out of something that originally existed, but kind of repackaging it. Arrangers have a compositional background, they're composers in their own right. That's one of the big important things really about being an arranger is the ability to be able to almost hear the sound that you want in your head before you write it down, and then finding ways of kind of coming up with that sound. I was very lucky to work with a band called The Four of Us, and one of the tunes that they wanted to perform was a song called Blue. So, you know, and it's got quite a nice chord sequence, this song. It's kind of like the same sort of 4 chords that kind of go throughout the verses, which is something like, and that kind of keeps recurring. So the challenge for an arranger as well is you can't just kind of keep doing those chords in that sequence. So you might decide to initially begin on that, but then eventually move up to the upper registers.
Something in your eyes, a look I know you can't disguise. Still we both pretend there's nothing there. Blue, the thought of...
As an arranger, you're always coming up with ways of using the material that you have. Songs are a classic example because there's verses, so it's the same material essentially in each verse, but you're trying to make it sound different. There's a whole load of different ways of doing this, and every arranger is different. For me, I really just sit at the piano and work out the chord structure of the song. If there's anything that maybe the songwriter wants done differently in this version because they have an orchestra, sometimes they want different changes to be made. So one of the other ways that you're asked to do things is to really reformat, repackage a piece, you know, re-realize it as something else. And sometimes those are pieces by very famous singer-songwriters. People know the pieces intimately. They've listened to them hundreds of times. One of the biggest things I was asked to work on was a medley of Snow Patrol songs for Bangor in 2011 at Proms in the Park. People know the songs, so you want to make sure that they are recognisable, but also you're trying to do something different with them. You're trying to give them something to go, wow, that I would never have imagined that song could sound like that with an orchestra. So at the beginning of this piece, yeah, there's this kind of there's this big sort of refrain on the horns, which goes, which is kind of a hook in that song. The orchestra kind of come in with what is essentially the root chord of the song. The song's in A major. And the orchestra kind of come in with all these different figures kind of up here. The way that that's orchestrated is harp kind of doing these little figures with tremolo strings, which is just trem, moving the bow very fast on the string. So that's the chord, but to make it sound more symphonic and more kind of, if you like, Hollywoody or filmy, you're adding in other notes. Just so it's the same chord, but you're adding in. Kind of addictive, you know, whenever you work on something, you hear it performed by an orchestra, it's like a sort of wow moment, and you never kind of get tired of that. You never get tired of putting music in front of players and then hearing something kind of come alive. You know, once you hear it with real people kind of breathing life into it, that takes on a whole other thing, and there's nothing that really kind of beats that.